Welcome to OSM, Operation Safe Mode. Peace be with you. As we continue in safe mode, remember, it's always, Jesus, we trust in you. We're back here with the OSM Mailbag with the burning questions from you, my favorite fans. So let's begin. The first question. Dear Father John, answering the questions from all of your fans is my favorite part. However, why is it that you are so old-fashioned and still use cards instead of your phone? Or perhaps maybe you don't know how to use a smartphone. Just asking. Well, just asking, I took you for your word and I learned how to use my phone, so the rest of the questions will come from my phone. Thank you for that wonderful idea. The first question. Dear John, we really enjoyed the OSM quizzes. We enjoyed your series on sin, but when are you going to get back to the quiz questions? Mom has not missed a single one. Love, your sister, Claire. Well, Claire, I'm glad that was your question because no one around here calls me John. Well, Claire, I have to think of some new questions that would stump Mom. And that's going to be really hard. We're going to do that after our next series, and we're going to do it for Advent. So I hope you won't give up on watching. Stay tuned to see if you can continue with Mom to get them all right. The next question. Oh, this is nice on the phone. It's much easier this way. Dear Father John, at Mass, why do you mention Simon Peter among the saints in the Eucharistic prayer? Well, I mentioned this a couple times on different occasions, but it's worthwhile repeating. I think that it's important for us to remember St. Peter, but also to remember Simon, because Simon represents the human part of Peter, and of course Peter means rock. So when we pray for Simon Peter, I want us always to remember these two things. Peter represents the rock of the church, which is never wrong. It's the foundation that Christ has given us. But it is Simon, the human part of the church, that may struggle, may even fall into sin, may even lose its way a bit. But once firmly placed again on the trust of Christ, as we do, then we will move forward. So I think it's really important for us to pray for our Holy Father, the human person, the one who follows Peter as the rock of the church. So Simon Peter reminds us that it is a twofold church, founded on Christ through the weakness of man. So thank you for asking. Father John, we, for many months, have prayed for the confirmation class, and particularly the students we chose for Lent. How was confirmation? And is there anything you can share with us about this great day? Well, it would have been a really great day as if we had first had a plan. We had 90 students ready for Bishop Malesic to come, and then of course we had to go into safe mode. And then of course Bishop Malesic moved on to Cleveland, but that gave me the opportunity to be the one to actually confirm the students. It wasn't just a great day, it was 4 great days, because we had to divide up the 90 students and their families so that everyone could attend who wanted to be with the candidate. I just posted actually 2 days ago the homily from the confirmation. So if you would go online, you will find it under the flock notes, the confirmation homily that shares with you what I shared with the students. I want to thank everyone who has prayed for their students, and perhaps maybe you'll find a picture of your student, your candidate, being confirmed on our website or in our Facebook page. Dear Father John, let's talk sports. This is from my friend Charlie Gahagan. It's been a while since you've talked about sports, and now we have sports. What is your take? Well, my take on sports. Let's do this. Let's do the good and the bad, okay? So, baseball, the Pittsburgh Pirates. The bad news is they only won 16 games. The good news is they get the very first pick of the draft, which I'm sure they'll screw that up as well. Let's take hockey. The good news was the NHL was capable of staying within a bubble and avoiding any COVID problems. The bad news is the Penguins popped their bubble right away. Good news, bad news. Pitt football, good news. Pitt football has been playing since the very beginning of the college season. Bad news. Pitt's been playing since the beginning of the season. I know, it's hard for me to say too. Penn State football, for those Penn State fans out there, bad news, they haven't played a game yet. Good news, they're already ranked number 9 in the country. Can't beat that. And then we come to football. The good news is the Pittsburgh Steelers have number 7, Big Ben, back at quarterback. The bad news this season? None so far. None so far. You know, we saw some fans back into baseball games in the playoffs this week, and even this past week, the Steelers had some fans. I want to tell you something. You might not have noticed this, but the Pittsburgh Pirates went against Major League Baseball, and they had one game where they opened the gates to PNC Park and let everybody that wanted to come to the game to come into the game. Of course, it was the same number of fans that were excluded at all other stadiums as well. So that's my take on sports right now. Good news, bad news. Take it as it is. Thanks, Charlie, for asking, and thanks for being a faithful fan of watching OSM. The next question. Dear Father John, what is your next series? We really enjoyed the one on sin. How much did you enjoy the one on sin? I hope you learned a lot what to avoid. Well, our next series is going to start next week, and it's going to be on the Our Father. I'm going to break down the Our Father in about 3-4 minute segments and comparing the prayer that Jesus gave us with the 7 sacraments and how we can be nurtured in that prayer. Remembering always that this prayer that Jesus shares with us is most likely how he would have prayed himself to our Father, his Father in heaven. So stay tuned. Dear Father John, is it true that the next Burger Bash is this Saturday? Yes. The next Burger Bash is tomorrow, and it is still a drive-through Burger Bash at 11:30 to 1 o'clock. So be patient, for the lines have been getting longer, but the food is always hot and good. This is from one of my little friends that attended the blessing of the pets. Dear Father John, you seemed a little squirmish. That's a big word for a little kid. You seemed a little squirmish around all the dogs at the pet blessing. Don't you like dogs? And if not, what is your favorite pet? Well, I like dogs in other people's yards, chained to the wall. That's how I like dogs. I like dogs when they're sleeping. But my favorite pet I ever had, we had a cat when I was growing up, and my favorite pet was Wally. Wally was a parakeet. My roommate Dave and I in college, our neighbors had a boa constrictor, and we couldn't afford to have a nice big snake in our apartment, so we decided to go over to the 5 and 10 and buy a parakeet. And his name was Wally. He only cost us $5. But the problem was we didn't have any cage to put Wally in. So we thought, and being the college students that we were, we came up with an idea to build our own cage. So we went and got 2, 4, 6 cookie sheet pans, racks, and we caged them all together with wire and made our own cage. And we had old Wally there with us. So Wally was a pretty good friend of ours. But because the boa constrictor got out, well, you know the rest of the story. Dear Father John, we've really loved the creativity of your beginnings of the Operation Safe Mode videos. There have been quite a few over the last months. It would be really nice to see them put together in one short video to mark the times as we've gone through COVID. Sounds like a good idea. But we would really appreciate if you made another new beginning. Much shorter and to the point. Here's an idea for you. Perhaps maybe you can just show a lightning strike and then the word pandemic come across the screen and then say, in safe mode, Jesus, we trust in you. Just a suggestion, because I like to be creative as well. Well, maybe we'll take that into consideration, and so watch for a new beginning. If we have time to put it together, maybe next week. Well, that's all the questions from my Operation Safe Mode phone mailbag. And remember, it's in times like these the saints were forged. So let us all become saints as we stay safe in the Lord.